all-new Dr. Phil. She's homeless,
They kicked me out in 6 inches of snow.
living in Vegas.
You've left your child with your pimp.
He was great with her. The only person he was violent towards was me.
Stripping
My daughter's never been taken from me while being a stripper.
and angry at her parents.
You're a fraud. What is wrong with you? They need to be exposed.
I'll decide what they need to do and what they don't need to do. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, Mary and Craig say that their beautiful daughter Jessica left the family home in January and fled to Vegas with her 2-year-old daughter after being promised fame and fortune working as a model and dancer. But they claim things went south very quickly when Jessica told them she had been sex trafficked, prostituted, and left fearing for her life and the life of their granddaughter at the hands of gangsters. Now, they claim Jessica is lost in Las Vegas, but refuses to leave.
At 18 years old, my daughter Jessica ran away from home thinking she was going to become a famous stripper.
The thrill is being able to just be free. You get to be yourself when you do this.
Jessica loves being the center of attention.
The ambiance in this club is incredible.
Jessica told us that she was a sugar baby, and my wife and I thought that was totally disgusting. Sugar baby is somebody that is kind of a paid-for date. It always seems like pimps and very dangerous men are associated with her. She's prostituted, and she's been sexually trafficked multiple times. Jessica is living with my 2-year-old granddaughter in a homeless shelter in Las Vegas. Jessica met a guy online who promised to make her a rich, famous video vixen. The man was really a pimp.
I completely left my family to come out here.
This man put Jessica to work on the street while he stayed at home and watched her daughter.
At this point, almost all of my worst fears for my daughter have come true. She's been exposing herself half naked to men, been prostituted, caught up in sex trafficking rings. I can't imagine what else could happen to her.
Everything's lit out here. It's a city of dreams. I came here to be a model with the intent and the fire in my heart that I was gonna make it when I got here.
She tells us that if we ever called Child Protective Services, we will never ever see her or our grandchild ever again. Jessica needs to get a real job. Dancing, stripping are not consistent with our values.
All right, good to meet you guys. I wish we were talking about something else.
So do I.
Now, you adopted, correct?
Yes,
Jessica and her brother.
that's correct.
And I just have to take a minute to say, adoptive parents are my absolute heroes. So God bless you guys. Well, seriously, that's a courageous and important thing to do. So thank you for doing that. And right now, you're worried about your daughter's child, right? That's your main concern here.
Yeah, we're worried about, well, not only our granddaughter, but we're worried about Jessica as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
But she's an adult and she can make decisions. The grandchild can't.
That's
and
true.
That's the problem. What is your greatest concern for Jessica? Are you afraid of the choices she's making, just being non-productive, or are you afraid for her life?
I would say both of those things. She's 22 years old now, and our hopes for Jessica were that when she reached that stage in life, she'd be like many 22-year-olds and that she'd have a clear sense of a future set of goals, and she would pursue those, whether through college or Vo-Tech or just getting a job somewhere and doing something that she can tell people that she's doing. Instead, she's chosen to take a totally different path.
All right, so what is she's dancing, right? And
Right. Well, that's what she's told us, yes.
exotic dancing, we were talking about stripper.
Yes.
Okay, and you say she's been sex trafficked.
That is what she has told us.
And describe that in terms of what she is saying. Has she been abducted? Has she just been misled? Has she been, how has that come about?
When Jessica leaves our home, we often don't know where she's going or why she's going. And then 30, 60, 90 days, at some point she calls us in desperation, reporting that she's in a sex trafficking situation or she's gotten caught up in a drug dealing situation, any number of very scary scenarios, and then asks us to come rescue her.
These sketchy men who they live in that world, I guess.
Right.
And they take her in and get her to do the things that they ask her to do.
All right. Well, according to you guys, history-wise, age 2 is when she was a foster child in your home, and then you adopted her at 3.
Yes.
So you had her as foster child for a year.
That's right.
And then you adopted her. Age 9, she was sexually abused.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do at age 9 when this happens?
We immediately sought professional help.
At age 10, she lied about being pregnant.
Yeah.
And she tested negative,
Yes.
of course, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But she started running away. So at 11, she's readmitted to the foster system.
That is true.
How did you explain this to her?
I don't recall, honestly.
At that point, she had tried to run away for the 8th time. And SRS got involved, or CPS got involved, and it was their decision that it would be best to disrupt the running cycle by putting her in a different location for a while. And so what we did is we explained to her, we're not giving you back. We had told them that we were going to be a forever family, and we meant that, but that she needs to stop the running behavior, and as long as that continues, we're going to have to ask for other help.
And how did she react?
I don't remember so much her reaction to going in as I do her reaction when she finally came home again.
7 months later.
Yeah, 7 months later.
And what was her reaction when she came back?
When she came home with trash bags full of toys and clothes and things like that. And her demeanor communicated she felt like she had won the lottery. And I remember saying to my husband, we've already lost the battle here, because her behavior was, the choices that the professionals made to remove her from our home was to reduce the likelihood she would continue running. Mm-hmm. But looking at it through her eyes, it appeared as though it was actually being rewarded for doing what she did.
Right. She pulls a knife on you.
True.
What about a big knife?
There's a butcher knife.
Not a little knife would be better, but we're talking about a big. We're talking about a big butcher knife.
Yes, it was a big knife.
Okay, and she was charged with battery. She's readmitted to the foster system.
Yes.
Okay, this is the second time. This time she's gone for 2 years.
That's correct.
Okay, did you have any contact with her during this time?
Constantly.
Yeah, we've never ever not had contact with her.
Okay. Now she gets to 18. She signs herself out. She ages out, but she signs out as well.
Correct.
All right, and she moves. At that point, she moves in with a gangster strip club owner in Kansas.
That's what we were told.
Okay.
right.
Now, age 19, she's sex trafficked while pregnant in Arkansas.
Yes.
True.
She gave birth to her daughter in Kansas. At 20, then she starts strip club, and then she tells you guys that she is a sugar baby,
Yes.
and she says at that point, you kick her out.
Not true.
That's
Not
what she,
true.
I'm telling you what she says.
Okay.
Right.
What happened when she told you she was a sugar baby?
Go ahead.
I don't recall the actual conversation, but I know it without a doubt. There was a conversation about this is not consistent with our values, and if you're going to live in our home, then you're going to have to find somewhere else to live. If you're going to continue to be going out for dates that you're paid for.
All right. So she leaves.
Yes, what we had told her was that particular evening when she said that she was going on a date to make some money, then you're going to need to find another place to sleep tonight because we're not okay with this behavior.
Okay. So it came to a head that night.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because she says she got kicked out into 6 inches of snow knowing that she had nowhere to go.
Earlier in the day, she called me from the mall with a friend out shopping. That told me there is someone that could catch her if she falls.
Now, she's currently living in Vegas with her daughter, homeless,
Yes.
in a shelter.
That's what we're told.
You're a marriage and family therapist,
Yes, I am.
and you as well? You're a social
I'm
worker?
a social worker, but an outpatient therapist at the mental health center.
Right. And she's saying this is like the cobbler's children have no shoes, that you guys are professionals on family dynamics and all, and you extend that to your patients, but not to her.
Well,
I'm just telling you what she says.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure.
and that may be the case from her vantage point. I don't know. I know that very often she will get angry with us because we try to problem solve with her in a way that we have found helpful with our clients, trying to maintain an objective viewpoint and point out things to her in a non-blaming, shaming kind of way. But I think that if anything, Jessica has really trained us to be the therapists that we have become.
Absolutely. Yeah. I set limits with my clients all the time. And I try to help parents learn how to set limits with their children in a kind, gentle way. But you have to be firm on it. And when you say what you say, if it's, you got to stop doing this, then, or there's going to be a consequence, you need to mean it, and you need to be prepared to follow it up.
And you wrote in to me, what do you hope to accomplish today? What do you hope happens today?
Go ahead.
I hope that we can get Jessica some help that gets her stabilized. Maybe you've got a trick up your sleeve that Mary and I have not thought of in the last 20 years, to be able to get through and make some sense to her that she can't continue to live the lifestyle she's living and parent in an effective way and provide her what she needs to grow up and be a healthy, well-adjusted child.
So you hope maybe she'll listen to me where she doesn't listen to you,
That's
which is
my-
often the
Amen.
case with parents. I mean,
Amen.
My prayer.
you
Yeah.
listen to somebody across the street, but not your own parents.
Right.
Jessica says if her parents can't accept her career as an exotic dancer, then they need to accept the fact that she is cutting ties with them forever. We'll meet her after the break.
When I'm on stage, you guys seem mesmerized by me. My parents absolutely hate the fact that I like dancing. My parents kicked me out in 6 inches of snow, as well as my daughter. My parents are both therapists, but they're phony.
Plus,
You are a liar. You're a fraud. What is wrong with you? We're all putting the laundry on the table today.
hold on.
No, Dr. Phil, this has to stop. How can you be a therapist and you have to be on Dr. Phil?
Mary and Craig say their daughter Jessica took off with their 2-year-old granddaughter heading for the bright lights of Las Vegas to pursue her dream of being an exotic dancer. Things didn't go as planned. Jessica claims her gangster lover turned pimp ended up sex trafficking her, beating her, and leaving her homeless and destitute. Now, Jessica says despite this, her parents refused to help.
I love the world of exotic dancing because you can be free to be exactly who you are. There's an energy that comes out of your body when you dance. When I'm on stage, you guys seem mesmerized by me. I moved to Las Vegas with the promise of being able to make it in the exotic dance industry. I definitely look up to Amber Rose, Black China, Cardi B. I think that they definitely are voicing some things that need to be voiced. Just because we strip doesn't make us any less than anybody else. We're powerful women. My parents absolutely hate the fact that I like dancing. They don't find it a respectable way to support me and my kid. My mom and I fight about the fact that I'm not giving my daughter the life she deserves. because I'm being a stripper and continually move around. My mom and I got into a heated argument one night, and I finally admitted to her how I was getting things for me and my daughter by having a sugar daddy. My parents kicked me out in 6 inches of snow, as well as my daughter, without knowing whether I had anywhere to go. So I had been talking to this guy online, and he promised me that he could make me a model and he could put me in videos. So we moved out to Vegas with him. He had connections, he knew everything and everybody, but the thing was, he was a total fraud. I ended up walking here right on the strip, prostituting for him. I got away from him and I went to a homeless shelter with my daughter, and I've been stuck there. My parents are both therapists, but they're phony because they can go to work every day and help other people, and yet they turn their own back on me.
You are a fraud. How can you sit up here and act like you're a therapist? You turned your back on me. You kicked me out in the snow. I didn't want to get out of Vegas. I called you crying several times, telling you, help us get out of here. What did you say to me? What did you say? You got yourself out there. You figure it out. I'm a liar? No, you are a liar. You're a fraud. You cannot possibly be helping anybody as a therapist when you lead a double life. What is wrong with you? How can you do that? You left us in Vegas. So how can you sit up here, look me in the face, and act like somebody you're not? You are a fraud. I'm a liar, you're a liar. And we're all gonna see that today. You wanna bring me on here like I'm a bad person? I support my kids, and I'm not changing that. For you, for anybody. I'm a sugar baby, guess what? It's gonna stay that way. There's nothing wrong with that. You are a liar. So we're all putting the laundry on the table today. I'm not backing down. It's time for everybody to see who you are, Mom. Or should I call you that? Because I'm a mom, and you know what? I wouldn't leave my daughter in a homeless shelter. I'm a bad parent, guess what? I'm not the one who had to come to Dr. Phil. How many times have I been investigated? I was taken from you. My daughter's never been taken from me, all the while being a stripper. So what's wrong with it? Nothing. You live in a box. It's not 1950 anymore. There's nothing wrong with being a stripper. What there is something wrong with is being a fraud, which is what you are.
Jessica,
And I don't care
whoa,
what you have to say.
Hold on.
No, Dr. Phil, this has to stop. How can you be a therapist and you have to be on Dr. Phil? What kind of therapist needs that? Really? Who needs that? Don't you have a degree? Do you have a degree?
Hold on.
Do you have a degree, Mom?
Hold on.
You can't look me in the face, right? You know
Hold on.
why? Because you're a liar.
Hold on.
Can you look your grandchild in the face?
Hold
You
on.
love her. Do you really love her?
Hold
Do you
on.
really love her? You left us in Vegas.
No,
I didn't want to
stop.
leave.
Hey, you're not going to come out here and filibuster.
No, Dr. Phil. They need to be exposed.
Well, I'll
They
decide
did
what
this.
they need to do and what they don't need to do.
Well, they need to stop lying. You need to stop lying. Because I'm not living that no more.
You went to Vegas, and what was your goal?
I was promised that I would be made famous.
You fell for that? Come to Vegas, I'm going to make you famous?
I was looking for somebody to care.
And later, if your daughter grows up and says, I'm dating men that pay me money,
As long as she's not selling her body. Having sex for money is different than going to dinner for money.
My daughter Jessica is a pathological liar.
When Jessica was 10, she told classmates she was pregnant, and she was not.
She's lied about being pregnant 4 or 5 times.
Jessica seems to thrive with the attention that she gets when she lies.
There was a time where she said that she took an entire bottle of over-the-counter pain pills. We took her to the hospital, had her checked, and it turns out that she didn't.
I honestly don't know whether Jessica is pregnant right now because she's told us this so many times and it's proven to not be true.
I'll only believe Jessica when I see a full belly or a positive pregnancy test.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to answer them or you're not. But you're not going to filibuster, and...
I don't have any problem being honest.
Okay.
I'm not a pathological liar.
Okay, but...
As a kid, did you not lie as a kid?
Okay, wait a minute, stop. What are you hiding?
I don't have anything to hide.
Well, then why are you yelling so nonstop?
Because I'm angry, Dr. Phil.
Well,
I'm angry. Do you know
the
how it feels
hold
when
on.
somebody lies about you
Oh,
and tries
yeah.
to make you look crazy
Yeah.
in front of everybody? It's
Yeah.
funny. But
Actually,
the
I
funny thing
do.
is, you're going to be proven to be the liar today,
Well,
not me.
not unless you stop talking.
I'm just angry, Dr. Phil.
Well,
like,
okay.
you can't tell me you care about my child when you
Okay.
don't.
You're going to need to talk to me here for a little bit, or...
Well, let's talk.
Yeah, let's do.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, I do. I do.
so-
You laugh. It's
so-
good that you're laughing. You won't be in a minute.
So, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah?
My daughter's happy. You know, we're living life.
Yeah.
Could be better if people didn't leave me in a homeless shelter.
So, how's your life working for you?
Currently not too good. As you know, I don't have any secrets. We were in a homeless shelter in Vegas. We did ask for my parents to help us. I asked for my parents to help us. Like we all know, kids are innocent. They don't have any say-so in anything.
Why are you in a homeless shelter?
I was in a homeless shelter because I got kicked out in 6 inches of snow.
No.
Don't, I'm not talking to you. You wanna be exposed, so we're gonna be exposed.
Talk to me.
They kicked me out in 6 inches of snow. Yes, I did tell them I was a sugar baby. Yes, I am a sugar baby. And no, I don't see anything wrong with it. It pays the bills.
Okay, why are you in a homeless shelter in Vegas?
We are in a homeless shelter in Vegas because I ended up getting trafficked when I got kicked out of the house and agreed to go out and finally meet the guy because I didn't have anywhere to stay. You think because if you already know I don't have friends, you really think that it's valid to assume I have somewhere to go because I all of a sudden have a friend? You didn't know this person. You didn't know whether I had anywhere to go or not. So you put me in that situation. You made me vulnerable.
Okay, but you went to Vegas, right?
Yes, I did go to Vegas.
And what was your goal in going to Vegas?
I was promised that I would be made famous. I was going to be a model. I was going to be a dancer. And most importantly, I was going to be with somebody who accepted me for who I am.
Okay, well, I know you're young, but you fell for that. Come to Vegas, I'm going to make you famous.
Well, I did fall for that. And part of the reason I fell for that is because I was looking for somebody to care and looking for somebody who wouldn't turn their back on me and wouldn't judge me.
Okay, well, you tell me you're there because they kicked you out of the house
Yes.
for being a sugar baby.
They did.
But what's your ownership in being in a homeless shelter in Vegas?
That I was a sugar baby and my parents didn't agree with that lifestyle.
What's your ownership in it?
I went to Vegas. I chose to leave after they kicked me out. And I did because I'm not going to stay on the street, which now I'm back on the street because you put me and made me vulnerable, and I got the chance, and somebody told me what I wanted to hear, and I took it. Who wouldn't take that in 6 inches of snow outside?
Well, now you're actually trained as a nurse's assistant, right?
I am trained as a CNA, licensed, VOTEC. I went to school.
So you're a certified nurse's assistant?
Yes, I am.
So, of which there is a considerable shortage, so
Yes, there is,
You're-
but it doesn't pay enough.
you're immediately employable.
Of course, absolutely. But employable doesn't mean it pays the bills. As a single parent of one kid already, I've been there, did that. What they didn't tell you, I was working a 9 to 5 and being a sugar baby when they kicked me out of the house. So it doesn't pay the bills. I was prostituted by violent force.
And where was your daughter when you were in Vegas?
She was watched by the guy.
The violent force that was prostituting you was watching your daughter?
Oh my God.
Don't act like you care now.
Closed captioning provided by...
It feels great to be at Hustlers. When I'm on stage, it's freedom, it's grace. It's like an energy flows out of your body. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna work a 9 to 5 to have some yelling at me all day for $9 an hour. Most nights I don't make less than $500. It's not dirty old men who come in here. Most guys come in here in suits. There's no sleeves in here. My parents definitely bring God and religion into their fight with me dancing. How do they know what God's path for my life is? I don't even know what God's path to my life is. Only He does. They need to get over it.
Lately,
Jessica says she is currently homeless with her 2-year-old daughter in Las Vegas
Where are you?
after her dreams of becoming a famous exotic dancer turned into a nightmare. Despite
Where are you,
everything
Mom?
that has happened,
where are you?
as we just heard, she says her career aspirations remain
are you?
unchanged. And where was your daughter when you were in Vegas?
She was with me, and she was watched by the guy when I went to work.
Okay,
and
when
I
you
never
went to
had
work,
a concern.
when you went to work, you went to work at what time?
Usually around 10 at night, sometimes 9, and I was prostituted, and that wasn't my choice. Being a sugar baby and being a stripper is not being a hoe. I never did anything sexual out of my own free will or choice. That's not me.
Okay, but you were stripping and you were prostituted.
I have no problem stripping. I did not strip in Vegas.
Okay, and you were prostituted.
I was prostituted in Vegas against my will.
But you didn't strip in Vegas?
No, I did not.
Okay,
And that was what I was told I would be doing.
Okay, you were just prostituted.
I was prostituted by
And
violent force. Yes.
And the violent force that was prostituting you was watching your daughter while you
Yes.
were...
And I honestly, as weird as it is, I never had a concern about my daughter's safety because he was great with her. The only person he was violent towards was me. And when you're trapped in a situation like that, you don't exactly have the free will to say, well, I'm just gonna up and leave, because you're safer doing what they want and not risking your kid getting hurt. You're safer with a roof over your head. You're safer having food to eat. You're safer just going with what they want. You don't have a say-so, especially if you want to keep your kids safe.
This person that was violent with you how?
He would hit me closed fist in the face. He would smack me. He'd shove me into walls. Just violent all the way around. And he did hit me in front of my child.
Oh my God.
Did you care, though? Did I call you? Did you care? Don't act like you care now. Because you knew this.
Okay, listen.
I told you this.
Okay, you need to talk to me here for a minute because you can yell at them without me here.
They're frauds. They're liars.
Okay, what are they lying about?
They're lying about not
Okay,
kicking
listen,
me out of the house.
I'm right here. You don't need to yell.
You know, Dr. Phil, when you
here.
hurt somebody throughout their whole life and try to play the good person, it causes anger like this.
I understand.
And I'm a mom,
but
and
you
I
can-
can tell you, I wouldn't do this to my kid.
I get it. What are they lying about?
I've been investigated by CPS. No, I've had allegations made while being a stripper, mind you. And I've never been accused or validified of any of them. Every case was dismissed within 48 hours. They lie about kicking me out of the house, which they have done over and over and over and over and over, which is what leads me leaving. Because you can't constantly kick me out and then wonder why I end up leaving. Where am I going to go? You know I have nowhere to go. And I tried working a 9 to 5. The only woman I don't have respect for is a woman who doesn't take care of her kids.
My parents, they should have been here for me. When I told them that I was getting hit by some crazy guy, I don't know how they could sleep at night.
Closed captioning provided by...
My parents, they should have been here for me. When I called them and told them that I was being hurt and I was getting hit by some crazy guy and that their grandchild had to see that, they should have been here for me. I don't know how they could sleep at night. Because they're my parents. And as a mom, they're real. I would have traveled oceans.
Talking.
My daughter would have.
Don't start with me.
If you don't stop talking, we're not going to get anywhere. Mary and Craig both say their daughter Jessica is endangering her life as well as the welfare of her 2-year-old daughter while homeless on the streets of Vegas with her child. Yet Mary and Craig, practicing therapists, both admit they're just too fearful to turn Jessica over to Child Protective Services. Now,
You can't.
pardon me?
They can't.
Well,
There's not going to get anywhere.
There's no neglect going on with my child. I've been investigated 3 times, and every time it's been closed within 48 hours. Even living in hotels, okay? My daughter's taken care of, and
listen,
they have to check the child care
I want
place.
you to listen for a few minutes. It's just possible that you might be able to learn something today that helps you. I've kind of looked at your life pattern, and
Yeah, and there's one there. I
and
don't deny that.
you do have a pattern of not telling the truth as you're in your younger years.
I do.
You lied when you were 10, you lied when you were 12, you lied when you were 16.
I did.
You've lied your whole life. So it just strikes me odd that you're making a point out of them being liars when it's been your stock and
Well,
trade.
you know what? I had a good lead to follow.
Yeah.
So for being perfect parents, how did I end up this way?
But you say you have no respect for somebody that doesn't protect their children.
I have no respect for somebody who doesn't and who
Well,
doesn't provide for their
I made a
kids.
list of some of your parental behavior here. You've been hit by your pimp in front of your child.
Yes, I have.
You've left your child with your pimp
Yes, I have.
to go prostitute.
By force. Yes.
You claim your child has a close bond with your pimp.
She does, which makes me sick. Don't get
You're-
it wrong. But I'm going to choose to do what he wants.
You're homeless with a 2-year-old,
Yes.
and you have gainful employment skills.
Yes, I do.
And you
I
have
am
no
responsible to not leave my kid with some random person, okay? The only person who's going to watch a kid for free is a crackhead, okay? And that's how kids get hurt. My daughter goes to licensed people, licensed home daycares, licensed people.
Who watched your child when you were stripping?
When I was stripping, always a licensed person. And in Kansas, when I stripped, she went to the same person every time. When I was in Miami, same person every time. Dallas, same person every time. My daughter is not tossed around from sitter to sitter because that's not healthy. So I don't have any issues with that.
Well, you know, I've kind of looked at the pattern. Would you say that you've been pretty erratic with your living situation?
I have, and part of the reason is because I can't get a solid foundation. When I'm constantly kicked out of where I have, because you don't agree with what I'm doing,
Well,
but yet I can't support my kid without doing what I'm doing.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, so you're an adult.
I am an adult.
Okay, so their responsibility to support you as an adult is no more than your responsibility to do what they tell you. You don't have to do what they tell you, and they don't have to support you as an
Right.
adult. Where was your daughter when that was happening?
You told us that she watched it.
No, yet again you're lying. You need to have your location straight. Stop lying.
I made a list of you moving around just based on what you've told us.
Right.
You started out in Detroit stripping.
Yep.
Then you moved back to home. You were in conflict with your mother. Then you went to Arkansas when you were pregnant and you were sex trafficked.
Yes, I was.
Then back to Kansas where you had the birth.
Yep.
Okay, then to Dallas to strip. Who was
After
watching
having
the
a
child
fallout
here?
with mom,
Who was watching the child here?
a daycare.
At 10 at night?
Yeah, there's 24-hour daycares.
Okay, then back to Kansas and you were stripping there.
Yep.
Okay, then
Same
back to
sitter she'll have
Detroit
when we
to
go
give,
back now.
to give Dad a second chance.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That didn't work out.
Nope.
Then to Miami with your daughter, and you were abused
Yep.
there. Where was your daughter when that was happening?
With a sitter.
No, you told us that she watched it.
No, actually, she didn't. Yet again, you're lying. You need to have your location straight, okay? The only place she watched that was in Vegas.
Okay,
So,
well, hold on. Stay with
stop
me for a
lying.
minute. Stay with
Do
me
you
for a
have
minute.
proof of that?
stay with me for a minute. Then you went to Michigan, where you were stripping.
Right.
Who was watching her in Michigan?
Her dad was.
Is this
And how did I end up there?
Is this the dad that you gave a second chance and it didn't work out?
Yes.
Okay. Then you went back to Texas.
Yep.
And this was with a pimp that was going to make you famous.
Yep.
And where was she then?
With a sitter.
And what happened to the being famous? They didn't work out?
No.
Okay, then you went back to Kansas and then the parents kicked you out.
You see, every time I leave, what's the common factor? What happens before I leave? I don't just leave because I want to up and leave.
And
I leave because I get kicked out and I don't have anywhere else to go.
And in Vegas, you say that you didn't strip, you were just prostituted.
Yeah.
And then you're living in a shelter.
Now
there.
we're in a shelter.
In Texas, you have a pimp telling you you're going to make him famous.
Yeah.
Then you go to your parents, then you have another pimp tells you he's going to make you famous.
Right.
Didn't that seem like, heard this before?
Yeah, it did. But you know what? When I'm out in 6 inches of snow and I have nowhere to go, I'm gonna believe it because I'm vulnerable, I'm upset, and I have nowhere to go. So I'm gonna fall for it. If my parents wouldn't have threw me out, I probably would have had the wherewithal to know this is dumb, this isn't gonna work, I'm gonna end up in the same mess.
If your daughter grows up and comes into you and says, I'm actually on a website and I'm dating men that pay me money.
I wouldn't disapprove of it.
You what?
I would not disapprove of it as long as she's not selling her body. Having sex for money is different than going to dinner for money. There's a huge difference.
Okay.
I fill a void, they help me. That's it. There's no sex. There are actually men out there, and there's lots of them, and they're not creepy weirdos, okay? We're talking doctors, lawyers, CEOs, high-profile, high-class men. They go to dinner in a suit, okay? And they pay you because they're lonely. That's it.
Well, we're going to take a break. Mary claims that Jessica has lied multiple times about being pregnant, suspects this time may be no different.
Okay.
Jessica wanted to take a pregnancy test.
Sure
and
did.
then I have some things I want to review here
Who's the liar?
about her daughter and
Liar.
about some of these decisions. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by... Well, we're out of time today, but you'll definitely want to tune in tomorrow because there is so much more to cover. The questions are this: is Jessica really pregnant as she claims, or is this another lie? Her parents say with her past history of stretching the truth, they're not really sure whether she's telling the truth or not. Well, we're going to find out when she takes a pregnancy test here and the results are revealed. And as licensed therapists, could her parents be held liable in any way for Jessica's behavior? See what happens when tempers run high and Jessica faces off with her parents backstage. Take a look. Believe me, you will not want to miss what happens tomorrow. It is action-packed until the very end. I want to thank all of my guests today. If you or someone you know are dealing with an issue you'd like to speak to me about, log on to drphil.com and tell me your story. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.